I just want to take this moment and to share with you all the full gravity of what is happening right now. The mere fact that I'm standing here before all of you with this microphone in my hand and ready to share with you all a part of the story that is me. Wow. This moment is so much bigger than you can ever realize. My whole life I have been told that I was not allowed to speak or to have my own voice. I grew up in India, a male-dominated country, and in a culture where women are not supposed to have any kind of opinion or share their own stories. I was raised to see the world through others' eyes. For 23 years, I saw the world with my father's eyes. I was raised to be obedient, to fall in line. There was no room for mistake. And most importantly, to always look and act of our perfect-looking family. When I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a dancer. I took dance classes for a few months before my father squashed that dream. Because according to my parents at that time, it was not a respected profession for women there. I was sent to the universities to study what my parents wants me to study. Because again, my parents decide what is right and wrong for me. I learned how to cook, clean, have education, because it is going to make me look more attractive, candidate for a marriage. At the age 23, I was introduced to a man I would marry, and I knew him only for a few minutes before the commitment was made. My views to the world now transferred from my father to my husband. And that was accepted to be in our culture. And this was very normal there. We had 2 wonderful children. Now my whole life is becoming about their being their mother. I was not permitted to caution anything to anybody because anything I say will be considered as disrespectful to my family. Again, my job was to show our family as a perfect-looking family. And I tried. I promise you all, I tried. I wanted to give the best to my children possible. And if we never left India, my life would have been very similar to millions of those women there who are treated like a second-class citizens and submit to their parents, either to their parents or to their husbands every whim. Because I would not have known anything differently. So that would have been normal for me. I used to be very insecure and very scared. But several years into our marriage, my husband's job brought us to the community of Bloomington, Illinois. It was the epitome of cultural shock for me. I felt like a foreigner. Because I was really permitted to speak before, and not knowing the language here made me feel very embarrassed a lot of time. I did what I needed to help my children transition into this world. I would see other mothers at the school who have careers, who have hobbies. I was shocked that the woman can go for a coffee and for a lunch date without their husband's permission. I felt a yearning inside me that I have shoved it down for so long that I forgot it was there. I narrowed my focus until now only on one thing. The one thing that kept me going each and every day. For years, that one thing was my children, their health and their happiness. This was the only way I could cope up with the life I was living. I was never allowed to think of myself. I was never allowed to wonder what I wanted from my life. One thing focus has helped me building my life, for sure. But it has also kept me away being able to see the full gravity and reality of my real life, what I was living in, and what all I was unsatisfied with. By the time I was done raising my children, I knew I wanted something more. I knew I wanted something bigger. I wanted a career. I wanted a life of my own, in spite of many challenges around me. And I broke out of my role as a wife and as a mother. I looked for the opportunities to meet people and for a career that would let me be me. And it has not been an easy journey for me. Today, I have been a realtor in this community for 17 years. I love that I get to help people find the home of their dreams. I love that I have a new sense of purpose in my life. Despite deep feelings of fears and insecurities, I decided to take charge of my life and my happiness. And I work every day to show my children that they can make their own choices and live the life they dream of. I had to learn how to say no. Because how I was raised, my only goal in life was to please others. And too often people took advantage of me, especially in India. I learned how different this US culture is by watching women around me, by watching shows like Oprah. Before that, I thought my worth was based on how I pleased others, because that's what has been ingrained in me, that my job is to make others happy. I did not believe that I was worthy of my own happiness all these years. My kids taught me that, Mom, it's good to be a giver, but you got to learn to receive also. And that was the hardest lesson I had learned. And I had to learn to ask for help. Going to therapy was a big taboo in our culture, because how I was raised, with the belief that said, never discuss your personal matter with anybody. Just hide it. A few years ago, my life, I felt very confused and lost. It's then when I seek this kind of help. Going to therapy has helped me clear all my foggy thoughts, and they help me how I can navigate those thoughts into my day-to-day life. Now I encourage others. When I see them struggling, I encourage others to go to therapy and ask for that help. Seeking help is the very first step towards your healthy lifestyle. I find out that. It starts being vulnerable. It starts admitting that something is wrong. And it starts something that it's okay to go and ask for help. After using this tool, not as a starting place of weakness, but as a place of strength. It has helped me moving forward in my life very smoothly now. For a long time, I was running a race which I could never win. I was taught to show only perfection on the outside. And the harder I tried, the more I realized that this is the exact reason my life was imperfect. Being vulnerable, seeking therapy, I'm finally moving in the direction of the perfect life I had been pretending all along. And it comes with such a deep feeling of relief. I feel so grateful that I had these eye-opening opportunities to see that I could take charge of my life. I could take charge of my own happiness. I know there are millions of young girls in the culture where they will never realize their value. I hope that me being here today, if I can inspire just one girl out there, that she needs to appreciate all that they have and have the strength to start taking chances today, because I did 17 years back. I have learned over the years that our backgrounds and our circumstances may have influenced who we are. However, we are responsible for who we become. I chose to take all negative influence from my life and work on making positive changes every day, not only for me, but everybody around me also. My life is not perfect, and I'm okay with that. I'm trying to overcome the cultural barriers that has been so deeply ingrained in me, and finding a balance within society which I'm living in now. I look for ways to blend it all, so I can focus what is best for me and my husband and for our children. And while I continue with all these changes with one thing focus and my hard work, I believe that now is the time when I can be finally me.